topic. This is second to the last for this afternoon, and then your orientation is over. Yay, good for you. School starts next week. Okay, but prior to that, without further delay, we are going to discuss CDA. Here is the president of UST Faculty Union, Professor George Lim, MD.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So, I am given 1 hour to share with you what the Faculty Union is all about and what the Faculty Union has done for you, even if this is your first time to be teaching in the university. I was told that at 1:30 there will be another drill. So I was supposed to talk for 1 to 2. So I may have to shorten this a little bit and consume only 30 minutes, no, in anticipation of the drill. But I suppose all of you have a copy of my presentation, so I can go through all of this very quickly and finish in half the allotted time. So at any rate, okay. So what is the USFU all about? USFU stands for University of Santo Tomas Faculty Union. It's a labor union recognized by PODE, right? And the UST administration as well. Okay? So UST Faculty Union. We do have our vision and mission, and our vision is the USFU is a dynamic and proactive academic as differentiated from other labor union, committed to ensuring the welfare of its members. Right? Later on, I will tell you what we mean by members. Mission: secure optimum economic benefits, job security, and quality work environment for its members. Again, the members there is a little tricky. Through principled cooperation, provide and uphold responsible leadership towards an empowered workforce and socially responsive academia. And then establish partnerships with other labor-related organizations, mainly academic, for mutual support and development. Some big schools do not have a labor union or a faculty union. Now, whether that is good for the admin or good for the faculty members or not, I mean, that is their call. But right now, the USFU is the envy of many faculty members nationwide because we are the most organized, the strongest, and possibly with the most resources. Okay, so that's the mission vision. So what I will be talking about this afternoon will be based on the 2011 to 2016 CBA. This was completed, signed, ratified only last March. So last March is what? Almost 3 years late. Alright, so this just somehow shows you how the work that was done, the negotiations that was done to put in place this CBA. And as I've said in many fora with the faculty members, through literally blood, sweat, and tears. Alright? So, the USFU is the sole and exclusive representative of the collective bargaining unit. Right? So now there's a little difference. No? Can you raise your hands, those probationary faculty members? Probationary. One. Substitutes. Substitutes. Fixed term, 1. Ayun, marami ng fixed term. Alright? Okay. Lecturers. Okay? A few. Part-time. Ayun, aray ko, yun ang marami. Okay, at any rate, sige. At least I have an idea. So, the USFU represents all of you insofar as negotiations with the management, university, and the USFU has secured for you benefits, right? Okay. The bigger outer circle, is the entire collective bargaining unit. And the entire collective bargaining unit is all faculty members except administrators. Because you can have faculty members assigned to administrative job or offices. Excluded sila. So all, and that includes everybody here. Alright? You are all part of the collective bargaining unit. Meaning, the USFU negotiated with UST for all faculty members. Unfortunately, we have to discriminate. Those who raised their hands, except the one who raised his hand as probationary, are all contractuals. Meaning you are bound by a contract. Right? There is a limit, especially for the fixed term. The lecturer, you can just go on and on and on as a lecturer. The part-time, you can also go on and on and on and on as a part-time. But you will not be tenured. Alright? Okay. So, but all of you are part of the collective bargaining unit. So when the USFU negotiated with UST, all of you were in our minds. Okay, next. The smaller circle constitutes the members of USFU. Right? They are the regular members. And who are these? The tenured faculty members. Right? How about the probationary? Right now, the USFU is working on a constitution and bylaws that is almost 30 years old. So after last March, where we finished the CBA negotiations for 2011 to 16, our next urgent job is to amend, revise is perhaps the better word, the constitution and bylaws, to make it adapted to modern times. And so in our next General Assembly, which I'm sure you will all attend as well, because it's a half day off and you are all expected in the General Assembly, we will be presenting a new constitution and bylaws of the USFU for ratification by the members. So you will be there as guests, but we certainly welcome you, and we certainly look forward to the day when all of you will have the opportunity to become tenured or get tenured. Right? Okay. So that's the small circle in the middle. Right? USFU members. So there is a distinction. Why is there a distinction? So regular faculty members, tenured or probationary, there's an asterisk there. So for the probationary, for some others who may not be here, or whom you know, maybe you can tell them, there is still a question. Should the probationary be included as a regular member of USFU? We will settle that before the amendments or the ratification for the new constitution. Right? But there may be some qualification. Okay? So they are the members of USFU. The non-members of USFU, but still members of the CTU, are all the contractual, and that is 99% of you. Alright? And that includes fixed term, substitute, lecturer, part-time. Okay? So, what's the difference? Members, this is the bad news. Of course, the union has to survive. Right? And to survive, you need cash, you know. So that's the bad news. Everybody pays dues to the union. For the members, we call them union due or union dues. For the non-members, we call them agency fee. Right? And they are all in an item in your payslip. To those who have already received their payslips last SEM, because you're already here last SEM, there is an item there called check off. Check off. So everybody, all members of the CBU, which means all faculty members, will have a check off. And this check off is 1% your gross salary after mandatory reductions. And this goes direct to the USFU funds. And this is what makes our USFU strong. As I said earlier, we have certain resources that are not, that other academic labor unions, well, do not have as much, right? So that is how we survive. And this pool of money we spend for various activities of the union, all right? And among them are legal assistance, right? Because, you know, every now and then somebody gets into trouble, all right? And so we have a legal assistance fund that we set aside to help our faculty members, our members, all right? But that does not exclude all of you who are not members from seeking help, opinion, advice from the union. So the union office is open to everybody, right? So that's the USFU in a nutshell. I hope you don't get too dizzy, no? Alright? So, next, what are some of your privileges and benefits? Right? So, on your first year, this is your, next month is your first time to teach, these are some of the things that you would enjoy. Environment, number 1. Your lecture class should not exceed 3 hours. No? Meaning we understand that it's not easy talking to a class for 3 hours. So, all of these are in the CBA, by the way. If you agree to a 4th hour, o sige, 4. But that should be it. You should have a break after that. You cannot be given a load. 3 hours consecutive beyond 3 hours. If you agree to a 4th, that's fine. But after the 4th, there must be a break. Right? Laboratory class, not more than 6 hours. Alright? Next, you should not be asked to stay more than 10 hours in school. Meaning, your first class is 7 to 10. And your last class for the same day is 7 to 10 in the evening or 6 to 9 in the evening. No, cannot be. There's a huge gap. No, cannot be. So from the start of your first subject to the end of your last subject, you should not be staying in the university more than 10 hours. Because we understand all of you have other personal matters to attend to. Overtime pay. You should be asked to teach only not exceeding 8 hours. Beyond 8 hours, that's overtime pay. This is mandated by law. Right? Now, of course, you can be asked to committee work, reports, blah, 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 pakitulong, paki-assist naman si ganyan. Hindi yon. What we are talking of the 8 hours here is 8 hours teaching. You're teaching law. So if it is beyond 8 hours, whether you are a contractual or a tenured faculty member, you are entitled to overtime pay, computation according to law. Alright. Location of classes. Your classes should not be in 3 different buildings. No? You know, raining, heavy rain, then you have to travel. You know, we understand that. No? So, 3 different buildings in a day, successive. Pagdating mo sa pangatlong klase, labit na hindi lang. No, lalo na if you are from one end to the other end. No? So, we understand that as well. And the administration understands that as well. But you know, sometimes when you go to different colleges, this particular problem may not be seen by the higher ups. And therefore, it's up to you, lalo na yung mga teaching IR, teaching philosophy, where you move, or you are thrown in different colleges. No? So sometimes one here, one there, one there. Good if it's not training, but if it's training, then that poses a problem. Tardiness. So we are given 15 minutes if you have your class 7 or 8 a.m. Right? If it's in another building for the succeeding classes, 10 minutes. If it's within the same buildings for the succeeding classes, 5 minutes. Enough for you to, you know, go to the restroom and powder up. Teaching faculty, do we have non-teaching faculty, librarians, guidance counselors here? Guidance, you? Okay. So 5 minutes, at least in the morning. Alright? Pero that doesn't mean, right? That doesn't mean that if you are here at 7, and your class is at 7, that you stay in the faculty lounge, have coffee, read some newspaper for the next 15 minutes before going to class. Alright? That doesn't, I mean, the 15 minutes here is not a license to do that. We are all professionals here. Alright? And the 15 minutes here is to give allowance for unpredictable events. You know, traffic, flood, heavy rain. You know? So, this is not in any way supposed to be abused. Okay, class size. Lecture class should be only 45. A laboratory class or experimental lab should be only 30. Beyond that, if you are handling classes beyond that, you should get additional pay. Rights benefit. Oh, okay, so meron lahat. Everybody has some rights. Probationary, full-time, you will have 6 sacks for the entire year. In the in-between months, alternate months, 1,500 added to your paycheck. For the contractuals, 2 sacks for the year. One at the end of the sem and the second sem. Of course, tipirin nyo na lang yung rights. Okay? Next, Christmas bonus. Everybody gets a Christmas bonus. If you have full load, more than 15 or more, 15,000, less than 15, 7,500. Accident group insurance. All of us are enrolled in an accident insurance group. 500,000. Right? Huwag naman sana, no? So ayaw namin kayo ma-accident. Pero, you know, sometimes things do happen. And so at least, no, there is something, a little protection. That is, if you have your protection already, your personal insurance, then this is an addition. And there is a lead, faculty union, meaning the university allows the faculty union to talk with the faculty members 1 day per year for our General Assembly, which will be sometime towards the end of September or early October. And then a day per sem for other USFU seminars, because we have regular activity seminars for our faculty members to help them or to teach them, inform them, educate them on labor policies, labor laws, SSS, you know, employees' compensation, blah, 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 blah. So you learn, because there is no, except perhaps for the lawyers, there is no course which takes this into account. So we try to educate the faculty members. Bereavement. Wag naman sana, di ba? Pero again, sometimes things happen beyond our control. So, death of a lawful spouse, lawful, okay, child, parent, parent-in-law, brother, or sister. You're allowed 7 days leave with pay. Or, the worst thing that can happen, your family will enjoy something. I mean, enjoy? You must go enjoy. Will get, sorry. Hindi enjoy. Will receive something on your behalf. Right? So, kayo, either, well, you know, nasa langit na kayo. Baka mas masaya doon. Okay. Everybody gets a 13-month pay. We have clearly listed down the things to be included in the 13-month pay in the new CBA. So it's right there. And the computation is straightforward. So everybody gets a 13-month pay. Maternity leave sa mga ladies, by law. Right? By law. Okay? Paternity leave. By law, again, this is not something we negotiate. This is by law. Right? So, male parent, 7 working days, paid. Right? Again, of the legitimate spouse. Okay? So, ayan na, klaro lang, no? Mamamaya. Okay? So, legitimate spouse. Ito is something not many know. Especially benefits for women. Again, this is by law. This is not something we negotiated. Female faculty members, no qualification as to your appointment. You are given 60 days leave, paid, for surgery for gynecological disorders. Ano yung mga gynecological disorders? For example, you know, bleeding, na DNC ka, na hysterectomy ka, na alisan ka ng 1 ovary, anything gynecological. The law has definitions for that. Okay? So you're given 60 days. Actually, we thought this, I mean, as a doctor, 60 days minsan, it's too long. No? Masyado mahaba. That's the law. So we follow the law. Okay? After the first year, solo parent leave. Yan. Baka marami na kayong will fall into that. I mean, what naman? Some. Alright? Solo parent. And there's a definition for solo parent. I will not go to that anymore. It just means the bottom line is you are the one caring for your child. Only. Your spouse is not present for whatever reason. Alright? But you have to render first 1 year of service. That's what the law says. Again, this is a law. By law. Alright? So you have 7 days a year as a paid leave. Sick leave. So after the first year, you can now get sick. Kasi within the first year, you're not allowed to get sick. Kasi you will not have a sick leave. Your sick leave is paid. Alright? So, 15 days, if you happen to stay longer and you get tenure, and you do not use your 15 days, you can accumulate your 16 days up to 15 days, up to 75 days. So that's 5 years. No? So, after 5 years, on the 6th year, you have another 15 days. The 15 days, if you did not use it, it's going to be converted to cash. But I guess that's too far ahead. At any rate, right now, you're not allowed to get sick in the first year. That's all. In the second year, you have a sick leave of 15 days. Emergency leave. Contingencies. Of course, any contingency cannot happen within the first year again. It has to happen in the second year. A tragedy, calamity, Ondoy, ano ba yun siya? Yolanda, you know? So a calamity, that's why we are having drills, all right? 10 working days. Or a serious illness or accident of a family member. Again, wala dyan yung legitimate. No? So we talk only about legitimate matters. Vacation leave. So there is a non-teaching. Doon sa iba, walang vacation leave. Kasi we teach for 10 school months. 2 months. No? Off. Pero because you are contractuals, the 2 months, wala. No job. But for the tenured faculty members, they receive pay for 2 months. Right? So at any rate, for the teaching faculty and non-teaching faculty, the librarian or the guidance, ayun, in the first 1 to 4 years, they have 15 days. And it goes up the longer they stay. Study leave. Medyo maraming issues dito. But just know there is something you like to pursue some other degree. PhD, if you already have a PhD, a second PhD, or whatever. Right? So there is something to look forward to. Hospitalization. This is the shining thing that the USFO is a little happy about. So there are hospitalization and medical benefits. Unfortunately, not for the contractuals. Not for the contractuals. For the PROBI, after 1 year of service, they are already privileged to have the hospitalization and medical benefits, up to 100,000 per academic year. Of course, there are other criteria, qualifications, but essentially that. But of course, everybody, each one of you, can consult for any medical problem at the UST Health Service. Okay? Retirement, layo pa, no? Retirement, layo pa sa inyo, no? But that's mandatory at 65. Although you can voluntarily retire after 10 years and receive a retirement pay, or you retire anytime before 10 years, you will not have a retirement pay. Okay? But as I said, para sa tenure yan. But that's at least something I'd like to show you, something to look forward to. So maybe what you should have in mind is to help yourself try to go into a tenure track appointment. And with the aim of getting tenure. Because when you get tenure, that's when you get everything, the whole package. So sometimes you get into trouble of your own making or of somebody else's making, but you were dragged into it. So the first venue where something will be done is your faculty council or your dean's council. And the first person that you need to talk to is your faculty club president. Alright? Your faculty club president, because he's the one most proximate to you. So seek advice from your club president. And if you need the advice of the union, then the office is open for you. There is a grievance machinery in the CBA, which is a requirement by the labor code. And it's very simple there. And a grievance is any misunderstanding concerning policies, practices directly affecting faculty members as to the meaning, application, or an alleged violation of a CBA provision. All right? And there is a mechanism for that. And then sometimes you get into bigger trouble. Well, if you are contractual, at the end of the stipulated time frame, if you are fixed, or at the end of a SEM, if you are a lecturer, And then that's it. So maybe this is not going to apply to you so much as to the probationary. Because the probationary has more security of tenure. Right? And somehow, just for you to know, complaints against a faculty goes to the faculty council, and if there is merit and there is an issue where you may be dismissed, then it goes to the faculty tribunal. And the faculty tribunal is composed of university appointees and union appointees. And that's where your case will be heard and deliberated. But of course, there is as well a prescriptive period and a cleansing off period. Meaning, if you are already charged, you receive some form of a sanction from your dean's council, tapos na. But if the act occurred, say, last SEM, masyado nang matagal, 2 months or 60 days, or 120 days if it's a student complaint. Alright? Okay. Our office, by the grace, benevolence of the university, we have a nice small office at the UST Healthcare Service, 3rd floor. So, that's where you can get to us. The useful people, officers, may not be there all the time, but there are certainly staff secretaries who are there who can assist you. So if there are problems, you can go to them and the message will reach any of the union officers, myself included. Or if you don't want to go there, you can call up or send an email. Arito. And one more thing, ito, probationary, alam nyo na yan. Okay, ito lang ang gusto kong tandaan nyo. Fixed term, maraming fixed term. If you are extended beyond your fixed term, swerte kayo. Tapos yung fixed term nyo, and then in-extend kayo, nag-alarm na, paano yung di namin naririnig? Pwede ba yun? Okay. So, yeah. So, that's it. The rest you can read. Hindi na masyadong importante. Ha? So, enjoy your stay in the university.